What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome to another video. So, let's review Kamen Rider Vail, the spin-off prequel to Kamen Rider Revice. Now, I have decided for this review that I'm actually not going to spoil everything. I'll probably give you guys a bit of a summary, but that's about it. I'm not gonna talk about the nitty-gritty or some of the highlights of this spinoff, but again, maybe just summarize so you guys can understand what it is. So, Kamen Rider Vail is a spin-off that's released on Toei Tokusatsu Fans Club, but if you're like me, you've been watching somewhere else. So, with that said, I'm going to give my honest opinion about this spin-off and what I think. So, in the show, it's revealed that Genta Igarashi, the father of Iki, Daiji, and Sakura, is Kamen Rider Vail. Now, it is explained how he became Kamen Rider Vail, what basically happened. So, this prequel spin off shows us those events about 25 years prior to the start of the show. So, of course, we get to see a younger Genta Igarashi, also known as Junpei Shiranami, which was apparently his true name, and we get to see how he became Kamen Rider Veil. Like, of course, that's the intent of this spin-off anyway, and how he met Yukimi Igarashi, of course, his eventual wife and mother of the three rider siblings that we see in the show. So that is basically the entirety of the plot, to put it simply. But of course, we do see some other details like what organization existed before Phoenix, and we also actually see how Masumi Karizaki became the way he is. So, as you see so far, he's always been a masked. He's always been hiding under a mask, and actually, this spin-off explains why and how uh, that happened. So, if you're curious as to know why Masumi always wears a mask, so the spin-off will answer that for you. And let's move on to, I think, the highlights of this spin-off. But again, not really much of a spoiler. So again, um, the main plot basically involves like uh, how Genta and Yukimi met, and of course how they ended up together. So we do see the things that they've experienced, right? And how the happy spa is involved. So uh, if we always have seen it as an important uh, location in the show, but we are given more context as to why the happy spa is an important place for the Igarashi family. So, for me, I think Yukimi or Genta and Yukimi's relationship was the highlight of the spin-off because, again, they're basically the main characters. Of course, we also see, Vale, the demon, and other characters that we do see in the show, albeit played differently, like Masumi, for example. Uh, but yeah, is Kamen Rider Veil a necessary watch? Now, it's not, in my opinion, but I do recommend it to give you, so you can get some more context as to how and why Iki and his siblings are able to transform into Kamen Riders, and give us more backstory on Genta becoming Kamen Rider Veil, because at least in the story of Revice, it's kind of established that well, uh, Genta, aka Junpei, is the first Kamen Rider in that line. So again, it's interesting to see his origin story, because Genta himself, has shown some mystery behind him, and ever since that it was revealed that he had uh, some kind of connection to GIF, so we see more of that in this spin-off. So uh, what can I say? But the only criticism I really have for this one is, it's quite short. Now, there are only 5 episodes, which run up to about 15 minutes per se. So, putting them together, you could at least, make a movie out of it. And I guess it could be included in a future DVD collection or DVD Blu-ray collection down the road. But for now, the only ways that you can watch it is by either subscribing to TTFC, or again, if you're like me, you have other sources. But uh, honestly, it was an enjoyable, uh, you know, it was an enjoyable watch, something that you can again binge watch in a couple hours, or maybe less if you're really planning to watch, all the way straight. But yeah, it gives us more context, for the Igarashi family, and anything that's related to them. So for me, Kamen Rider Veil gets a 4 out of 5. So again, maybe a bit more detail, a bit more action would have been nice, because it would be a shame if Kamen Rider Veil, like, he, at least by this recording, he only appears once in the entire show. So basically, his chance to shine was more concentrated in that spin-off. Now, of course, I personally want to see more of Kamen Rider Veil in the show. Uh, Probably, seeing Genta transform into Veil, Kamen Rider Veil once again. So it's but at least we do see, an interesting backstory to them with this spin-off. So yeah, if you haven't, so go ahead and watch it. I personally highly recommend, even though again it's not a necessary watch, but definitely it makes Revice more interesting, because I think it's really designed to be a complement to the TV show, which is why it works. And instead of spending a few more episodes in the show, so everything could just be put into a separate backstory. So again, we can focus more on, like, the story that Iki has, basically. So yeah, again, that's my review of Kamen Rider Veil. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So if you did, please do leave a like, comment down below. So what do you think of Kamen Rider Veil? So did you enjoy it? Did or not? Or maybe if you haven't seen it, well, if you haven't, I'm sorry if there were some. If my summary may sound like a spoiler, but yeah, I don't think it's much of a spoiler when I talk about, Genta and Yukimi getting together, because, well, they've already been married at the start of the show. So again, this is just more of like a backstory to how they met and ended up together. So I guess it's not a spoiler there, really. It's just been given since day one. So yeah, that's my review. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.